Story 1. Research is my passion. Search engines are highly effective tools for my work. I achieved a score of 99.8 in my research methodology course at university. Some days it feels like this is what I was meant to do. Story 2. I am a glazier, a glass installer. This isn't just glass. It includes all the finishing touches, such as flashing, which are metal panels used to cover holes and enhance the appearance of a building. I can do these tasks in my sleep, achieving 95 to 100% perfection. I never fail final inspections, and I have a reputation for being the best at flashing, pun intended. I am also extremely skilled at caulking. Many struggle to grasp the fine techniques needed to achieve a perfect, beautiful finish. The challenge I face now is that I am a site supervisor and never have enough time to teach the new team members, which is something I genuinely enjoy. No one ever performs flashing as well as I do, and I have had to lower my standards, which are significantly higher than the client's expectations. Otherwise, I would be forcing the crews to redo their work every day. Story 3. Finding people online with minimal clues. Thank you for your trust in me, but I have received many requests to find people. Unfortunately, I will have to decline all of them. If I tried to find everyone, I would be busy for weeks, if not months. Story 4. I am actually very proud of this, giving people grace. I excel at being non-judgmental and kind. However, I wish more of us made the effort to be good at that. If you want something less abstract, I am more flexible than most people. Story 5. Understanding both sides of a story can be challenging. Sometimes, I feel as though I lack a distinct personality. Story 6. I am a great motivator. I have always held small roles in jobs but quickly became a team leader or manager. Story 7. Encouraging my girlfriend. She has low self-confidence, but I help her walk around confidently like a champion. Story 8. Drawing is the one thing I refuse to be humble about. I will never ask if it is good. If I inquire about anything beyond showing the finished product, it will be related to the angle of something I am struggling with or showcasing some difficult shading I accomplished. Story 9. Striking up a conversation with total strangers is something I embrace. I have no fear when it comes to talking to people. Story 10. I am autistic and face challenges with basic tasks, but I excel in specific areas. I can visualize concepts easily and have a strong attention to detail, allowing me to read directions for assembling furniture effortlessly. My special interest has always been art. Although it has evolved somewhat, it remains within that field. Over the past few years, I have focused particularly on sewing, and I am very skilled at it. Additionally, I have an anxiety disorder, which makes me feel anxious consistently. This anxiety means I do not experience stage fright, as speaking to one stranger feels just as daunting as addressing 200 strangers on stage. Due to my previous special interests, I can talk extensively about Greek mythology or Germany, and I have many strong opinions about movies. Story 11. Laughing at things even when they are not funny to most. You will find me laughing alone at my own jokes quite often. Story 12. I'm terrible with names but remember faces extremely well. If I've seen you before, I won't rest until I figure out where, when, or how. It's pretty much a useless superpower. Story 13. Parallel parking. Crowds have gathered to watch me squeeze into the tiniest of spots. I only need a few inches more than the length of my car to make it work. Years of street parking in New York City earned me this skill. Story 14. 2 skill sets for success. Cooking North American comfort food and having overall knowledge of the Warhammer 40,000 universe from a lore perspective. Story 15. Public speaking does not intimidate me. I can tell a captivating story, weave it together, and hold the attention of hundreds of people. I don't use fillers like, or ah. While I may not be at the level of a TED Talk speaker, I consider myself better than most. Story 16. Digital arts. I take a class in digital arts at my school, and the number of students who don't know how to upload an image or use a folder is astonishing. Please reconsider enrolling your children in digital arts and computer science classes just because they use their phones frequently. Story 17. Empathy. I try my best to understand everyone's perspective and give them the time they deserve to truly be heard. My partner calls me her kind boy king. I am a 40-year-old man who works in public engagement. Story 18. Pretty much everything, to be honest. It's a result of having attention deficit hyperactivity disorder and obsessive compulsive disorder. I become intensely interested in something for a year or two, and when I excel at it, I move on to the next thing. Story 19. Driving the reach. It's a piece of lift equipment meant to take down or put up pallets in narrow aisles in a warehouse. Story 20. Working out is my most consistent activity. I play chess at an intermediate level, with a rating of 1400 on chess.com. I enjoy coding, but I am only better than those who do not engage in it. I play Call of Duty Mobile, where I achieved legendary status over 3 seasons. I can solve a Rubik's Cube with an average time of 25 seconds over 5 solves at my peak. My English skills were developed in school in India, so it is better to ignore that aspect. Story 21. I can draw almost anything in front of me with great detail and to scale with minimal effort. However, I struggle with drawing people, particularly faces and noses. I believe this is related to spatial awareness, but I no longer draw. Story 22. Using hook shots in basketball was my most effective move in the game, yet it was the least utilized technique by most players. Story 23. I reach orgasm quickly. I can climax without an erection. With just a few strokes, I experience ejaculation. I can also finish while engaging intimately with a partner. It's quite unfortunate. Story 24. I'm not a professional bodybuilder or a world's strongest man, but through years of hard work, I've built a physique that most men strive for, and I'm proud of the effort and dedication it has taken. Story 25. Connecting with people quickly can have its drawbacks. As an only child raised by a parentified mother, I did not acquire many social skills, so I had to learn them out of necessity. Story 26. I have beaten 2 former national champions in my country, and I won a tournament with over 100 participants when I was a teenager. There is a ping pong club in my town now, so I have been considering picking it up again. Story 27. I can speed read and easily finish a normal novel in a couple of hours. I have never misspelled a word. I can type 85 words per minute, but that is irrelevant these days. I have great handwriting and get elected to handwrite the Christmas card envelopes at work every year. On the other hand, I struggle with math and can easily get lost even with GPS. Story 28. I enjoy talking extensively about various topics, or even without a specific topic. For example, I remember a time many years ago when I was on vacation and our van had trouble. We were driving along when the engine overheated. We pulled over and noticed it was struggling with the coolant. Fortunately, we had some water in the back which we poured in. Unfortunately, it didn't last long, and we eventually ran out of water. My dad and I walked to the nearest house. This was back in the days before cell phones, and lucky for us, the man who lived there worked for an automotive company. He had been there for many years and said it was his dream job. As a child, he spent a lot of time there while his father worked on cars. His father had only 9 fingers but was one of the best mechanics. He was just born that way. Oh, you have to go? All right, I can finish that later. Story 29. I always know roughly where the bathroom is when I walk into a building or house. Oh, and I make delicious cheesecakes. Story 30. I believe I am good at not judging people. Several friends have told me that they can be themselves around me and feel completely safe. It was a conscious decision to become this person, and I have worked hard for it, so I am proud of that. Story 31. Making initial assessments of issues. I believe I have better critical thinking skills than most people, even if just slightly better. Story 32. I can fix pretty much anything. Cars, appliances, plumbing, and electrical systems. I am also becoming a competent woodworker. I have done some nice work with custom cabinets and just built a beautiful butler's pantry. I am the quintessential jack of all trades, master of none. Story 33. I have a few observations. One is detecting the tiniest shift in tone or mood around me. I know how people feel about things by watching for small details, even if they hide them very well. It's a response I developed for survival. Thank you, Dad. I'm better than most people with substances. I joke about it with friends and my partner. When they ask why I'm not as high as they are or why I'm not feeling it, I tell them I must be better with substances than they are. Truthfully, I think I have some sort of enzyme or metabolic issue with certain substances. I'm also good at not feeling embarrassed often. My daughter, who struggles with anxiety, can't understand how I can do goofy or weird things in public without it fazing me. If I talk to her about having diarrhea in a store and someone overhears us, I just laugh it off and may even engage with the person who heard it if they seem approachable. Story 34. Overthinking and not sleeping because of it leads to waking up the next morning wondering why I was overthinking. Story 35. I am not at an elite level and will lose to highly skilled players. However, I am better than most and will defeat the majority of casual players. Story 36. I empathize with people who have experiences or situations that I may never realistically encounter or be directly affected by. I observe people's emotional responses to seemingly insignificant interactions or scenarios and consider what specific kinds of trauma, worries, or fears motivate them. I realize that this might come across as arrogant, similar to a first-year psychology student who believes they know everything. This is certainly the impression I would get if I read someone expressing this. Story 37. I am skilled in my work and various jobs. I possess a broad skill set where I am organized, effective in communication, adept at managing people, able to analyze data, deliver impressive presentations, and quickly learn new topics. As a technical consultant, I am well liked in my company, and my reputation is that of a versatile individual who can complete any project if the usual subject matter expert in that area is unavailable. I was academically inclined in school, began working odd jobs at age 12, and explored different careers until I was 28. I now have experience in various roles and fields, including an interdisciplinary master's degree earned in 3 countries. The challenge is that these skills come easily to me, and I do not derive much confidence or self-worth from them. I should have been promoted a year ago and am thankfully getting promoted next month, but I lacked the motivation to pursue it earlier. The rest of my life feels a bit mediocre, and I struggle with real-world challenges and change. Story 38. Remembering things. My long-term memory is remarkably good. It could be a random event that occurred 10 years ago or something I have committed to memory during my studies. Once I remember it, it takes a lot for me to forget every detail. Of course, my memory decays over time, but the process is very slow. Story 39. Leadership involves making decisions swiftly and remaining calm if a situation begins to unravel. I feel fatigued when individuals are unable to make quick decisions, engage in discussions, schedule meetings, or establish committees, often seeking the opinions of less influential stakeholders. Story 40. Baking cookies and muffins is my specialty. While I have struggled with pies and my cakes and brownies can be inconsistent, I excel at making cookies and muffins. Story 41. Punctuality. I can't remember a day that I've been late to a place. While I don't arrive too early, I am usually right on time for where I want to be. Story 42. Reaching items? I'm tall at 6 feet 2 inches, so not extremely tall, but I can still reach more things than the average person. Story 43. Information retrieval and synthesis. I can access and process information from a massive dataset, synthesizing it into coherent and informative responses much faster than a human could. Language translation. I can translate between many languages with a degree of fluency and accuracy that surpasses most bilingual individuals. Story 44. Detecting and comprehending body language and other subtle nonverbal cues can be exhausting. Story 45. Altering lyrics on the fly to create songs reminiscent of Weird Al. Also remembering what you and everyone ordered for dinner. Want to know what my boss had at that steakhouse in Las Vegas in October 2007? Me neither, but I can't forget it. It's a frustrating superpower. Story 46. Spinning a stick while it is on fire. I have met many others who spin fire staffs, but I do not believe I have met anyone in person who is better than me. There are certainly people better than me I have seen online, and people I have met in person who are on my level, but even that is rare. Story 47. Impressions. I always do impressions of colleagues in the workplace, all in good fun. I have been told several times that I should have been a voice actor. However, that is not my intended career path. Story 48. Adding captions to pictures of birds that anthropomorphize them and suggest they are getting or have gotten divorced. Story 49. I have largely eliminated social anxiety. The most surprising part is that I was not like this before. I actively pursued self-improvement, and now even when I am very high on some substances, I do not feel anxious or paranoid. I talk slowly, deliberately, and breathe. Story 50. Bashing into walls that have stood since 1880, tripping over a carpet pattern, and stumbling over my own feet, all while sober. Yes, I have dyspraxia, but I have a great laugh that eases any embarrassment. Story 51. Storytelling. My friends often ask me to share a story or call me just to hear me speak. They consistently compliment my storytelling skills and my ability to entertain and maintain a conversation. It's no surprise that I'm a journalist. Story 52. Most things I do are unique, as most people do not engage in the same activities I do. I am a poor golfer compared to a professional, but being able to hit a ball straight on command and then make a two-putt immediately places me in the top 1% worldwide. As for the actual answer to the question, if I am competing with others doing the same thing, I can whistle exceptionally well and shoot a basketball offhand with decent efficiency. Story 53. English. It may sound unusual to mention this here, but I'm a native Korean living in Korea. Story 54. It's everything about information technology. If there is even the slightest possibility of causing an issue or finding a bug, I am the person who will do it. A computer has a problem? 9 times out of 10, it's an issue that even technical support and specialists cannot fix. An application that is said to run perfectly fine on a system? Please, give it to me and within a week, I will find at least minor graphic bugs, if I'm not outright breaking the application. It got to the point where my school back then didn't allow me on any PC at all. Story 55. Playing guitar. I have an electric guitar at my desk, which I play whenever I am bored or stuck on an idea. I run it through my laptop and keep the volume low. Occasionally, the lady across the office will say something like, "Why aren't you a rock star?" Story 56. Soldering is a skill I have practiced extensively, and I have also taught others how to perform it. I have encountered individuals who believed they knew how to solder until they observed me in action. More than a few times, I have heard the remark, "You make it look so easy." Story 57. I never thought of myself as better than anyone in anything because I always focus on trying to be a better person than I already am. Being better than other people isn't my ambition in life. Being a better person than I was is. I have talents, but I'm not interested in outdoing others with them. I aim to improve myself and become a better person in the process. I appreciate the talents of others more than I appreciate my own, as it is through the talents of everyone else that I am able to enjoy many things. Story 58. Some people say my English is better than that of native English speakers. I am German. I also believe I am better at crochet than anyone I know. Story 59. Recognizing patterns and trends is useful in my job in information technology. However, I must be careful when talking to people, as I often know what someone wants to say before they finish their thoughts, but interrupting is rude. Story 60. Reading the room. I am not much of a talker, and I usually see through people's insincerity long before anyone else does. Apparently, it's a trauma response, though. Story 61. Making friends. I have been told I am very approachable, even though I rarely go outside and do not tend to talk to many people. Story 62. I worked as a calibration engineer and tester in the automotive industry for many years and have significantly more training and experience driving vehicles in dangerous situations than the average person. Story 63. I believe I excel at building rapport and making people feel comfortable, more than anyone else I have met so far. Many extroverted individuals can be less mindful of others and may be preoccupied with themselves. I am not perfect, but I consistently make an effort to ensure others feel acknowledged and at ease. Additionally, I make the best chicken wings. Story 64. I'm one of those people who can do most things if I put my mind to it. For instance, I can quickly learn something I've never done before and manage to do it. Not like a professional, but better than most beginners. It's a family quirk. My dad and my brother are the same. However, one thing I can do efficiently is get on my wife's nerves. I just walk into the house and step on one. Story 65. I see through the illusion of vanity to understand the essence of someone or something at its core. Essentially, this means I often make jokes that people do not appreciate. Story 66. Learning song lyrics after hearing a song once or twice would be really nice if that gift came with a great singing voice, but unfortunately, it does not. Story 67. Well, the game of mercy. I am 5 feet 9 inches tall and weigh 160 pounds. I have lost only once in high school to a very strong competitor. Other than that, I have achieved hundreds of wins against muscular opponents along the way. I still don't know why. Hold the applause. Story 68. Dancing. I am old now, but back in my day, I had more than one woman call me an amazing dancer. If they wouldn't look at me before the dance floor, once I got on the floor, they would notice. A drawback of that is that I have an addiction issue, so I usually ended the night drunk or using cocaine. But I love to dance. Story 69. Cats. I am the herald of cats. No matter where I am or what I am doing, they always appear and quickly become my best friends. Additionally, any cat that is known for being unfriendly to others? Not a problem. We are relaxed from the start. Story 70. Being polite is essential. It is surprising that politeness is not the default for everyone, as it has always been mine. Story 71. Speaking my mind, the truth hurts because it is true, and if you are offended, that just means you know I am right. Story 72. Calming people down and getting them to listen to me comes from a childhood of living with emotionally volatile parents and a sister, which taught me to de-escalate situations quickly. I am excellent at managing stakeholders. Story 73. This is very niche and somewhat obscure, but someone might know what I am talking about. I am skilled at setting V-threads, also known as Abalikov anchors. I have been ice climbing and mountaineering for more than a decade and have set between 100 and 200 of these anchors. So far, I have never missed. I am sure the day will come when I do miss, but it has not happened yet. Story 74. My job involves working with individuals who are not held accountable, which makes my responsibilities fairly straightforward. Story 75. Recovering from major surgery, I have undergone 6 brain surgeries, disc replacements, and cancer treatment. You would have no clue if you met me. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.